Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the Vault. Trust Christian own, nothing control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live or listening to replay. Always appreciate you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Just have grown the audience at the Vault for years now, and we're going to continue to grow the audience. But we always appreciate everyone that tunes in live. We know we do quite a few pop-up episodes. And as well, we do quite a few episodes that are planned out every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we just appreciate everybody that tunes in live, that reach out for consultations, and want to move forward with their private education via trustee training. We recently have just experienced a major influx of trustees moving forward with the times where people have realized that, their families are more important now, that asset protection is more important now than it's ever been, wanting to move in the right position, moving in the correct position. So this is the Vault episode 232, Beyond Broke. And we appreciate everybody for tuning in live or listening to replay. Shout out to Atlanta. Everybody, feel free to always type into the chat where you're listening in live from. Always appreciate everyone that listens in live and just is listening live. It's good to see where the audience is listening from, especially when we do pop-up episodes, because we do workshops. So it's always good to know where the audience is listening from live, and getting to those cities and connecting with those people. And so this is a particular episode that we've dealt with people throughout the years, consultation wise, and it just is something that as a community as a whole, particularly the American culture. I actually wanted to pull up what is the poverty line in the United States, uh, because for some odd reason, uh, people don't know what poverty uh, is. They don't know what the poverty number is. And so we're here to share with you all. These are statistics that come from, where's this website right here? This is a government statistical website, United States Department of Health and Human Services. So when you all think that you're not doing well, or you think that you are doing well, we're going to go ahead into it. For people that are making $12,000 a year, that's poverty. If you're making money, if you're not making more than $12,000 a year, you're at the poverty line. And so, we can go up from there. If you have two people in the house that are working, supposedly, once again, these are statistics that come from the United States government websites, these websites that do the research. If you got two people in the household, $17,000 a year, ladies and gentlemen, how can you live on $17,000 a year, ladies and gentlemen? And, people go and they read the debt clock on the United States website, and they literally can see that they're not generating more than $40,000 a year. And so we want to go ahead and put this out to the Vault listeners that if you're not generating a certain amount of money, then trust might not be for you. We have done throughout the years, have tried we've done our best to not exclude people out of the asset protection, asset growth environment. But for some odd reason, people still reach out and they say, well, I don't have the capital for a consultation. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing in life that's for free. We are in a stage in the world now where people have to buy clean water. You have to buy bottled water if you want quality water and alkaline water. We are in a stage in history right now where you have to buy clean air. This is not a joke. So when people come to the Vault and they're talking about, oh, I don't have the money, this is beyond broke. This is not a situation where you can say you're looking for asset protection for the low, for the cheapskate. It doesn't work that way. Ladies and gentlemen, for all you all that reach out to the Vault and say, hey, I want to be in trust. Have you all gone to the local bank that you're depositing your money in and saying, hey, I want to open up a trust account? How much does a trust cost? Can you refer me to a trust person? No, because you all want a private situation. So how can it be cheaper than the public situation? If you want it to be cheaper than the public situation, go get a public trust. You all are very welcome to go get a public trust. But when you're reaching out to get a private situation going, you have to be prepared to pay. You have to pay the piper. Now, we're going to share with you all some Beyond Broke tips. Beyond Broke tips are when you're going into trust, business is a team sport. This is where you have to separate yourself from your broke friends that can't go into trust with you. This is where you separate yourself from your broke family members that don't want to go into trust with you, but you want to help out your family. So, for all you all that have heard the vault and you say, wow, I hear the truth, you got to get beyond broke. Get beyond broke is separating yourself from broke people because you heard the truth, you took it to your friends, you took it to your family members, and what did they say? Oh man, do that without me. Let me know how that works out for you. I don't got the money for it. You don't have the if they don't have the money for it, then you already know they might not be an asset to the trust. They're not even looking to grow the assets of the trust. When you are looking to grow a trust, you have to have a growth mindset. You have to get beyond broke. We have people contact us and say, oh man, we're dealing with some stuff right now and we're just not in a position where we have the capital. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to get beyond broke. See, this isn't just a conversation about money. This is a conversation about thought process. How can you enter into an environment that's focused on protecting assets and you're talking about broke stuff? Well, I don't have the money. You think trust is just about money? People say, well, who needs a trust? Is it people that have money or is it people that have assets? Well, I have a car that I want to protect. That's all you got to protect? Is it really worth protecting the vehicle? Of course it is. You think a politician has their name on a company? On a car? No. So it is worth it. But are you going to pay the piper? Are you going to step up and pay the piper to protect what you want, which is a car? Are you going to step up and pay so you can protect the property that your family's in? Or are you going to sit around and say, wow, man, that costs some money? Well, go over to the public side. It's free over there, right? No, it's not free. When you go into the bank, they're going to charge you too. We got people reaching out to us that tell us the bank put them in positions where the bank is the trustee and they're the grantor. But the bank told them they're in an irrevocable trust. And they're the beneficiary. This gets beyond broke. This gets into relationships. Who are you associating yourself with? What is your thought process towards growing assets? Ladies and gentlemen, you are the greatest asset. How are you broke? You're supposed to go out and produce. People hear how much it costs, whether it's the consultation or trustee training, and they literally say, well, I don't know when I'm going to come up with that. You're right, because you're broke. And you got to get beyond broke. You got to get into a creative mindset. A mindset that says, I am going to figure it out as soon as humanly possible. Not sit around and say, well, my friends are broke. My family's broke. We were born into poverty. So, that's the way it just is for us. Then you don't deserve to be in trusteeship and trustee training. And we have no problem with telling you that. Why? Because you're not going to last over here in this environment. This environment requires you to think for yourself. This environment involves you to think out of boxes. Oh man, so many people reach out. Well, I got a job. We had somebody reach out to the phone and say, well, I can't make the consultation times that you have available. That's called being broke. You gotta say, I'm going to make the time for the things I want. It's like a doctor's appointment. This is silly. This is like a doctor's appointment. If you work at night, how are you going to have a doctor's appointment during the daytime and you going to call a doctor and say, well, look, doctor, I work at night. I can't make the daytime appointment. Are you open at night? Hell no, they ain't open up at night. They open the times that they open. And if you can't make it, you got to get beyond broke. Clearly, you making time for your job that ain't paying you. So why are you not making the time for the thing that you want the most? Because you got to get beyond broke. This is common sense stuff. And this is why we do the episode still, to go and let you all know that there is a mindset that you have to come to the vault with. And the vault is not catering to weakness or brokenness. People contact the vault, they find out how much it is, and then they just walk away. Like, damn, that's how much your dream is worth to you? That's how much asset protection is worth to you? Forever. To eliminate the liability forever. You think it's supposed to be cheap? We deal with the athletes too, ladies and gentlemen. You think that you're the only one that's broke? You're not. The athletes come and guess what they say? Man, I don't know if I'm willing to drop $50,000. You said you were a millionaire, doofus. That means you're making $80,000 a month. But we're not stupid over here at the vault. All the athletes are employees. So they actually are getting taxed at 40%. So they made a million. No, they came out with $600,000. But no, they didn't come out with $600,000. They have luxury tax on that. They get taxed in each state that they play in. The actors are the same way. They get taxed because they're employees. They don't have businesses set up. And then when they find out, oh man, I want to live like Donald Trump. I want to live like Bill Gates. I want to live like Bezos. All of them don't deal with the liability. But for some odd reason, athletes, and this is a cultural thing. We're not going to isolate the culture. We're going to let you all know it's a cultural thing. And it's not even a color. It's a cultural thing. It's broke culture. And you got to get beyond broke if you want to take care of your family and protect assets, not make excuses. People say, oh man, the athletes, they got to spend $50,000. It's an investment in your financial future. Is it worth it? It's not worth it to most people. Why? Because they're broke mentality. They're trying to get something for nothing. You trying to live like Donald Trump. We got mentors that said don't even offer it to people that don't make $50,000 or more. People are literally asking themselves, well, should I take care of my student loans? Should you take care of your student loans? Should you? Ladies and gentlemen, people are debating whether they should put themselves in a position where they own nothing, control everything, learn contract, or focus on should they pay a student loan that there's no benefit in it. Clearly, the student loan hasn't paid you enough. What's the ROI on a student loan? What's the ROI? What's the ROI of trustee training? The ROI is not being broke, because you can't be in trust and be broke. What's the whole purpose? It's to protect and grow assets in the right position. Not sit around and say, well, I don't know if I can make the appointment. Well, I don't know, if I can move to the next step because I got to take care of my student loans. I got to take care of the car payment. Knowing full and well that you're in the incorrect position. You've heard the truth. See, this is the thing over at the vault. We already know how it works. What they say? The truth hurts. People hear the truth and then they find out, wow, I got to change my ways. I got to change my path. And they don't want to change. They want to keep doing the same broke stuff. The stuff that put them in a position where they don't even have a savings of $10,000. We have people come to the vault. We have asset managers on our side that talk about real estate investments for $15,000 earnest money. And the culture doesn't have $15,000 saved up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not being fooled and lied to at the vault. We already know the culture got $15,000 in your community and on your credit cards. All of y'all got the money. But do y'all want to invest it in yourself, or you want to keep spending it at nice restaurants? Do you want to invest it in yourself, or do you want to wear Jordans or LeBrons? Do you want to invest in yourself, or do you have to wear designer? I got to take care of myself, Trust Christian. I got to make sure my skin looks good. I got to make sure, I'm getting back and forth to work. Well, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Trustees don't think about that. So how are you going to inquire into an environment that doesn't allow you to think that way? You have to change. So the truth is going to hurt until you adopt the thought process that's going to work in your benefit, to work for your financial future. There is no easy way out. Freedom isn't free. We heard this at 18 years old from our mentors. Freedom isn't free. Financial independence is not free. You are going to have to get up early in the morning. There's no more sleeping in late. But everybody, when coronavirus first hit, everybody was TikToking. That went away real quick. Yeah,
TikTok, it went away real quick. Not just because they got banned, but because what? People got broker. After they said the average American doesn't even have $2,000 in a savings account. That's done. That's done. After 3 months, they were done. They needed PPP. They needed unemployment. That's what they needed. Did they use their unemployment money to get in trustee training? Maybe some of them did. Maybe some of them did. But most of them, guess what? They was just sitting there spending and shopping online. Amazon stock done went through the roof. Tesla stock went through the roof. How many people are really buying electrical cars right now, but their stock has gone through the roof? This is where America is. See, this podcast is a worldwide podcast, so we already know. A lot of people don't understand the plight of Americans because they think America's doing so great. But the poverty line is under 40, and you already can see that one person making $12,000 a year, that's a bad situation. $40,000? You want to live on that? So if you don't want to live that way, you gotta make the changes, ladies and gentlemen. This podcast ain't about motivation, but if you're not trying to make the changes, don't worry. The vault's not here to save you. This is the life raft, letting you know that there's a private sector, there's a public sector. You may not have been exposed to it on the public side, but there is a private sector. Thank your lucky stars, your ancestors in the universe, that you've been fortunate enough to be guided into the direction of the vault so you can hear the truth. The truth is own nothing, control everything. Is it going to be a cheap cliche for you for the rest of your life, or is it going to be an invaluable, expensive thought process? Because it is. Because freedom's not free. It ain't free. And this is a cultural thing that we've seen throughout the years. People literally get halfway through the process and say, well, it's just costing so much. So you're saying you associate with people on a daily and weekly basis that you can't even do business with? Ladies and gentlemen, that's getting beyond broke. People in the private sector, they work together. People in trust, they deal with people in trust. They cling to it. That's all they were looking for. But oh no, of course you get some people that are halfway in, halfway out. They just want to check it out. Most people just want to get a trust. They think, oh man, I'm just trying to get into trust. I'm trying to get into this thing because I know that I'm liable. You are a liability to yourself because you're broke. You have to get beyond broke. You have to get past a broken mindset. And it's not going to be cheap. Let go of cheap. And it's not expensive. It's just the cost of doing business. There is an opportunity cost loss. Because if you don't do it now, it's like the Fram oil filter. You either going to pay me now or you're going to pay me later. And paying later usually costs more. People think that the cost should stay the same at the vault. Why? The vault is improving its processes in education every single year. Asset management classes go up in price every single year. College goes up every single year. Why would the vault education not go up every single year? People think, oh, well, the coronavirus hit. It's supposed to be a discount. That's called getting beyond broke, ladies and gentlemen. Are you serious? You have to get beyond broke. Just because there's a new virus that's been introduced into the society, which it's already been in the society. This is a virus that's been recorded for over 20 years. It's been patented already. And people are saying, well, everybody on the internet, oh, we're giving a discount for this package and a discount for that package. The vault ain't giving no discounts. Freedom ain't free. Ain't no discounts to freedom. So no, it ain't a discount. Ain't no hookups. And if you want one, go somewhere else. The vault's not begging you to get in trusteeship. The vault's not begging you to get in privacy. That's something you have to say, this is it. You draw the line in the sand and say, it doesn't matter how much it costs. We are going to invest now, not later, because it could be more expensive later. People think the vault, it doesn't even matter what people think. There's so many different thought processes that come to the vault, but we're letting you all know the broken mindset is not going to work with the vault. It's called making excuses for success. Bottom line, how does this something that sounds good, but you still go to nice restaurants? You how do you have the money to keep doing liability activities, but you're not investing in your private education? See, the vault's not stupid, ladies and gentlemen. To be completely honest, the vault already knows everybody that listens, everybody that comes to the vault, they really do have the money. They just don't want to go on their last based off of faith. They want to go off their last based off of a belief. They believe it's going to work, but they don't have the faith. You got to keep the faith. Faith without works is dead. So you got to work for it. Shout out to Cali for listening live. Shout out to Mississippi for listening live. Beyond broke. You got to get beyond broke, ladies and gentlemen. The mentors really didn't have to explain this to Trust Christian. Really didn't. This is a moment in history where when you listen to this podcast, you have to make a critical decision. Are you going to allow past programming to say, I'm not going to do whatever it takes to be successful in this particular environment, such as private trusteeship? Or are you going to make excuses? That's it. Well, my wife doesn't want to do it. Well, my husband doesn't want to do it. But you know the truth. I don't want the money to go to my kids. I want my grandkids to get the money. This is the broke thought process. And we're saying you got to get beyond broke. Man, what about my family? What if they don't do it with me? What should I do? Uh, they don't have the money to do it. Are you going to get beyond that position, or are you going to allow your family to block your wealth, your spiritual path to wealth? Shout out to Alaska. We know it's super early in Alaska right now. It's 10 a.m. on the East Coast time. What is it? 5 a.m. What is it? 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So Alaska's definitely early. Appreciate that for tuning in live, uh, Alaska. So that's it. You got to get beyond broke, ladies and gentlemen. Excuses come a dime a dozen. But when people reach out to the vault, there's no need to say, "Oh man, especially we're not gonna go in on the single parents because we don't get the shout outs from the single parents that are saying, "Oh man, life is tough." You think life is tough for who? You? You think you're the only one life is tough for? See, people don't want to know that someone else had it harder than them, so it's easy to shout out their silly sorry. The vault doesn't cater to that. You got to get beyond broke. There are many people that have pulled themselves up from many different positions in life. Homelessness. You're not homeless, you just don't have the money right now. Okay, so come back when you're ready. Come back when you're ready. How many of you all negotiated? This is business. How are you going to enter into the private and you don't focus on the position of negotiation? Hey, the vault, I don't have it right now, but is there any way I could work something out with the vault? Is there any way we could make sure that we get this done because we need this for our family? But they don't. They just go back to being what they've been doing. I'm just going to just keep maintaining my job. My job, they going to give me whatever they say. So I'm going to just take whatever the job gives me. Appreciate Jamaica tuning in live. Just, it's crazy to hear the thought process. And if you're working a job, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think job stands for? Just over broke. Just over broke. You got to get beyond broke. That means you got just enough money to survive. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, your job makes 9 to 10 times off of you. So if they're paying you $10 an hour, they're making $110 off of you an hour. The boss wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't profitable for him. The owner wouldn't do it if it wasn't profitable. If you're making $20 an hour, because some people think, oh man, if I make $20 an hour, that's all I need. I need to make a job that's making $20 an hour and I'm ahead of the game. 20 times 40, you make $20 an hour times 40. You know what that comes out to. Y'all can do the math. You make $20 an hour. And then, so it's like they're calculating gross. But then when that check comes, they be like, oh man, it seemed like I'm working, like I'm making $15 an hour. But I really was getting 20. Okay. Then you got a few of them. Hey man, I got a good job. I'm in IT. I'm making $30 an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, we get contacts from people that are in Silicon Valley. A $5,000 apartment for 2 bedrooms. $5,000. That's a minimum in Silicon Valley. And they're sharing apartments in Silicon Valley. The tech boom of the world right now. Sharing apartments. Can barely stay there. They got to get beyond broke. They know this. They're sharing apartments. It ain't even just one of them in the apartment. It might be 4 of them in the apartment. They got bunk beds and they're over 25 years old. How many of y'all like having bunk beds when you were a kid? So why would you be okay with having a bunk bed as an adult? And it's not like they're doing it to save money on purpose. They're doing it because they didn't get beyond broke yet. They didn't get beyond it. They didn't state that they were doing it with a purpose. It's just the life that they got to live right now because they got a job. And so there is a thought process that comes with a job. We're not going to go in on people that got jobs. There are quite a few people that have jobs that listen to the vote. This isn't about a job. It's about getting beyond broke. And a job is just over broke. Barely that. Why did the people that work jobs not say, I'm going to dictate, specifically in the States, because there's a billion people in India. There's a billion people in China. United States is supposed to be one of the best countries to develop and based off of entrepreneurship. But the culture has 80% employees. Minimum. Because they were trained to be employees by the Rockefeller system. So what are you going to do? Are you going to be a part of the Rockefeller system of 80%? That literally, you want us to go to the Social Security Administration and the Bureau of Labor and Statistics and let you all know most people ain't even going to make it to 65 and not be financially independent? Are you going to be a part of that population? See, that's the question that we were asked at 18 years old. And we already knew. Ain't no way in the hell we going to work. We've been working since we were 14 years old. Ain't no way in the hell we going to work and then come out with nothing to show for it. You got student loans. People got student loans in their 40s. Are you serious? That's a badge of honor nowadays. Everybody's got student loans. Man, I got $20,000 in student loans. I got $60,000 in student. How can you utter that out of your mouth? It should be gross to say it. How is it okay to say that you have a student loan? Do you not understand that is a slave to debt? How is the education giving you a ROI? A return of investment? A return on investment? Hey man, everybody else around me, they got student loans. Right. Broke. And when you going to get beyond broke? This is the world we live in. Where people are okay with having student loans and car payments and all this stuff. And then they don't have money to invest in themselves. Because everything's supposed to be free. The education wasn't free, right? You went to school, you got the loans, and now you came out with the debt. But while you going to school, you had the grants and all this other stuff. The loans, right? It wasn't free. There was actually a cost to the education. Was the education worth it? Most people would say no. Well, if that's the case, it's time to pay the piper quickly. Stop lying to yourself. It was never worth it. Are you serious? No, most people aren't. They're not serious. It's a game to them. They're okay with living in the dirt, living in the bottom, living under poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give you another statistic. So everybody says, oh man, if I just get to 65 years old and I can save $1 million, how the hell can you live on the interest of $1 million after 65? Y'all are forgetting about inflation. Y'all are forgetting about the cost of living. Have you ever heard of a term called deflation? Stagflation? What about taxes? Y'all think taxes are going to be lower in the future or more? Oh man, nah, we gotta vote in the right party, man. Guess what? If you're a Democrat, do the Democrats actually want to lower taxes or raise taxes? Every time they go in office, do they lower taxes or raise taxes? But you a Democrat. You vote for the Democrats. How can you vote for a party that raises your taxes? Oh no, they're not gonna raise the taxes on rich people. I mean, they're not gonna raise taxes on the middle class. They're gonna raise taxes on the rich people. Are you serious? So who are the rich people? The ones that create the jobs for you all. If you have a job. So they're going to raise the taxes on the people that create the jobs. And then the athletes and the actors that aren't in the right position because they're employees too. But little did you know, none of the politicians, all of them are in trust. Biden's in trust. Trump's in trust. But they're going to raise the taxes for the middle class or whoever, the upper class, whoever. Ladies and gentlemen, how is the party that you're voting for always talking about raising taxes? Once we heard that, we never was going to vote for those people. Bottom line, period. Since Trump has been in office, people that came back and said, oh, wow, he's trying to get rid of capital gains tax. Most people don't even know what capital gains is. So they didn't go into Investopedia and go look it up. You can find out. That's a good thing. What about all you all that are reaching out for trusteeship and trustee training to protect and pass along wealth for the next generation? Didn't he eliminate estate tax or inheritance tax? Did his best to eliminate it? Who put that in place? You're not doing your research? Are you doing your research? Or are you watching propaganda on the news? Eliminating inheritance tax and estate tax for you to pass along wealth to your family, lowering the capital gains tax. Then you got the next doofus that wants to come into office and say, hey, I'm actually going to put more taxes in place. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment of truth. This is a moment of truth. This is not a moment of, oh man, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. You already know who you're going to vote for. The one that's helping you put money in your pocket. Bottom line. Not the ones that are saying, talking about, hey man, we got to go after this guy. He's not a good person. Let's attack his character. Look, money talks, everything else walks, right? So if he's putting money in your pocket, helping you save money in your pocket, money talks, everything else what? Walks. But no, the character, man. We got to talk about, is he racist or not? Really? What? The tax, the estate tax, that's not based off of a color. Hold on. The capital gains tax, that's not based off of a color. Oh, okay. Now we know who we're going to vote for. Right. Getting beyond broke. That's the mentality. There is no motivation for you to vote for someone that's going to eliminate capital gains tax if you're going to remain an employee for the rest of your life. Some people say, oh man, Trust Christian, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to start a business. I don't know what type of business I'm going to start. I don't know when I'm going to start a business. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're contacting the vault for trustee training, you should have a business. Because then that means you're going to do something. So you can still contact the vault for a consultation just to start a business in your state or whatever state. Start a business. Have something to protect. Bottom line. Man, I just want to get in trusteeship though, man. I know it's the highest level of protection, asset protection. I need to get that. Which one should I do first? Should I do trustee training or the corporation or LLC? You got to get something going. You got to get beyond broke. If you got to ask that question, you got to get beyond broke. That's what you got to do. Is it trustee training? You'll find out how much that is. If it's the LLC or C corp, you got to get going. You got to get off of broke. You got to get beyond broke and get going. Don't listen to the vault for motivation. Don't listen to the vault for inspiration. Be an asset to yourself. Be an asset to your friends and family around you or the people around you. That's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. The vault's not doing it for views. The vault's doing it to impact families, which we've already done. And we're going to continue doing it. That's what it's about. Helping people get beyond broke. But we can't do something you're not willing to do for yourself. You got to do it for yourself. This is the one moment in your life where you might have to make some sacrifices. Bottom line, get beyond broke, ladies and gentlemen. There's no excuses. There's no contacting the vault, talking about you can't make the appointment times. Think about, let's share with you all a broke thought process and beyond broke. How do you schedule a consultation and you're not on time? Ladies and gentlemen, you know when you go to the doctor's office, if you don't show up on time, they actually dock your money. They take money from you, and you didn't even show up for the appointment. Why would the vault be any different? You want to know why people are okay with coming to the consultation that they have given consideration for? Because they're broke. It's not that important. It sounds good to be in trusteeship, but they're broke. You got to get beyond broke. You got to be on time. You got to be accountable. Well, I didn't know the schedule. I looked at the calendar and I just wasn't sure about the time. You could have emailed the vault. You got to think for yourself. You got to make sure you're on time. This is something that's important to you. You want to know what getting beyond broke is? Hey, I'm going to listen to the vault and I'm going to just utilize the resources that the vault provides, but I'm not really going to move forward with the vault. Really? Yeah, that Cornell guy, the trader guy, we're going to take his classes and we still ain't made no money yet. Ladies and gentlemen, we've known Cornell for over 5 years. That brother has never worked a job. But oh no, Cornell, he sound like some country guy. He's in the country, man. He got a country sounding accent. How did he get the trading? I got a college degree. I'm supposed to get the trading. He got the trading. How can I not get the trade? You want to know why he didn't get the trading yet? Y'all want to know, all of y'all that listen to the vault, all of y'all that went through the trading class, the reason why you didn't get the trading yet is because y'all didn't do what our family told us. Cornell and Trust Christian's family. This is what they told us. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. People didn't want to keep it simple. All they wanted to do was get more information. Man, that information cheap. That was a $500 webinar. He ain't charge us $2,000 like he's going to in the future. More than that. Because he's growing his knowledge base. And how's he going to keep doing webinars for the low? Because they don't want to go and just dedicate the time to the one video with somebody. With all these guys on the internet saying, oh, we living like this, we living like that. Cornell only do these webinars just because some people requested. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. I'm able to get him on to do a webinar. Otherwise, he doesn't need the money. He's a trader. If you're a trader, aren't you supposed to make money on your own? The purpose of the reason why it was like, man, I want to put you in front of people so they know that they will never need anyone else for money ever again. And people literally take the trading class and they don't make no money. Not everybody, some of them. Why don't they make any money? Because they want to go use all these different systems, and then what they call, what's the silly line? They're a jack of all trades and a master of none. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to dedicate time. In the video, he tells you he dedicated every single day for 8 months straight and didn't make a trade. But oh no, I'm gonna go and play in a demo account, playing with your emotions. How many times would you go to your job and your job tell you, yeah, we ain't got no real money. We're going to give you the monopoly money. And so we're going to play around with this job for a little while. So we're going to pay you in the monopoly money. And then we're going to get to a point somewhere in the future where, you can get real money that can feed your family. They playing with the paper account. You got to put your life into this. There are people that are living off of trading. Don't play with it. Be serious. And the goal is not to lose no money. This is what people say when they come to the vote and they go through the trading class. Man, but I'm telling you, you guys don't even understand how much money people are willing to lose. They're not beyond broke yet. Man, I lost $5,000 in a trade, I lost $5,000 in a trade. So, I learned my lesson. That was the best lesson that could ever happen to me. How is losing money the best lesson that could have ever happened to you? How is losing hundreds of dollars, how is losing thousands of dollars the best lesson that could ever happen to you? You're supposed to learn, not lose. There's a difference. You take a L, but an L is not a loss. It's a learning lesson. So why would you didn't have a limit on how much you're willing to lose? You're willing to lose a lot to gain nothing other than man, that was the best lesson I could have ever had, was losing some money. Oh, really? Wow. People are okay with losing. They think they learn more from losing than they do from winning. Now, granted, it's challenging at times to figure out or see what your winning ratio is when you're winning, but there are calculations out there to help you judge that. Just like you think you took a lesson on your L's, you can actually put systems in place to teach you how to learn off your victories. But people haven't been taught victory. They've been taught failure. They've been taught broke. You don't know how much I learned off of losing all that money. What did you learn? Ain't like you got that same amount of money to put right back in and say, I'm ready to double that right now. Why? Because they didn't get beyond broke yet. You got to get beyond broke. And getting beyond broke is investing in your education. So what if it takes you a year to learn a trading? At least you ain't never got to work for nobody for the rest of your life. One year, 12 months. But you still gotta go out to nice restaurants. You can't do that. Vacations? What you mean? You've been going on vacations your whole life. You gotta go on a vacation. You're broke, but you're going on vacations. That's a standard equipment when you're broke, right? Going on vacations. What are you taking a break from your brokenness for? See, when we're in the private, we live, sleep, eat, and play in trust. Everything's business. It's never personal. What are we taking a break from our truth from? Why would we take a break from our truth? Well, I ain't got beyond broke yet, So I just am so broke that I don't know why it feels this way. It feels this way because you haven't made the sacrifice yet. The sacrifice is actually your brokenness. The door and the path to wealth is wide open for you. Wide open. But it's going to require some work. It's going to require some change. Some real change in your life. And it's not personal vacations anymore. You still don't go on personal vacations. It's a business trip. It's a tax write-off. Oh man, I'm trying to get to that. I'm trying to do that. Right. You are though, right? But you know you're gonna have to study. Right? That's literally what you're gonna be doing for the next year. Next 2 years. You're gonna be studying. You're gonna give up a lot of the things right now that don't pay you so you can be paid forever. See, we talk like this around wealthy people, they have no problem. It's only the broke people that don't want to hear it. I can't believe it's that serious that they give up these lifestyles. This is how they really are having private drivers and private mates. Yeah. You all can literally see. All the elites say, I'm only going to take $1 from the company. and you still question. They looking clean, they got jets, they got mansions, and you still questioning whether you gonna make the sacrifice. It's because people haven't gotten beyond broke yet. You gotta get beyond that. You gotta make the sacrifices. Ain't nobody say it was going to be easy. How is it easy to be broke? You can't even eat properly when you're broke. You can't eat properly. Good food costs. Clean air costs. Good water costs. Why would it be free at this point? Let's think about that. Why would it be free? Well, it comes from nature. And, it's God-given's right for everybody to eat clean water and eat clean foods or good foods and drink clean water. Did you go and source that water? Do you even have a tester to test to see if the water's not poisonous? What about the air? Things happen. What about the food? Did you grow the food? No. So how is good food supposed to be free if you didn't even grow it yourself? That's where we're at in 2020. People don't even know that they're eating plastic. You're eating plastic. You don't want to pay for the good food though. It's more expensive. So death is cheap and expensive is the path to life. We'll take the path of life no matter how much it costs. That's the cost that you guys are negotiating on. You got to get beyond cheap and broke. Man, I don't know if I'm going to spend the money to eat the right way. Eat the healthy food. So you willing to give yourself trash? Really? That's interesting, ladies and gentlemen. This is the thought process that people have it's a different world nowadays. People are negotiating their health. How can you be wealthy if you're not healthy? How can you be healthy if you're not well? How can you be wealthy if you're not healthy? People negotiating on their health. You ain't even got to worry about the money because you're not willing to pay for your health. Not even willing to do the research. Are you doing the research? Do you pick up and look at the label and see what's in it? Man, it's got all these words on here that I can't pronounce. It's probably artificial then. It's probably artificial. I don't know if I'm going to invest in my health though. We already know. You ain't going to be wealthy. But I think there's fat people that have money. It ain't too many of them. And they got enough money to buy artificial parts. You see how they got the money though? To pay for the health? It goes hand in hand, ladies and gentlemen. Hand in hand. Yes, you're going to have to do some research. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate everybody for tuning in live. If you want to type into the chat where you're listening from, it's always greatly appreciated. The vault has made it a point to be beyond broke. Sometimes you could be born into poverty and you can get out of it. And it requires you to pull yourself up out the dirt, pull yourself up out the mud, pull yourself up out of a negative thought process. Appreciate Colorado for tuning in live. That's what it's going to take. And the vault is a resource on your path to wealth building. We're not the end all and be all. Trusteeship isn't the end all and be all. People think, oh man, I just need to get in a trust and everything's going to be straight. How? Are you willing to continue your education in trusteeship? Because this is a continuing education course. It's not a forever thing as far as dealing with the vault. It can be when you build that relationship. But for the most part, it's to say, look, we're a great entry level, but there's a lot more on this side. See, we're the tip of the iceberg. The vault is the tip of the iceberg. You all know that the iceberg has so much more under it, under the water. Man, how much is my private education really going to cost me? How much did your student loans cost you that you're not trying to pay on? Interesting. People negotiating the price for success. That's what the mentors you say. People are negotiating the price of success. There is no negotiation. You got to pay the piper. Now or later. And the way money is, It's going to go up in price. Bottom line, you got to get going. Oh, I don't know what business I want to start. Why do you think a consultation is here? It's a management consulting course. It helps you learn, okay, I got 10 different ideas. I can start one of these right now. When are you going to do something for yourself? Because you're not living for free. And the ones that's living for free, we already know, they're broke. You got to get beyond broke. The way you get beyond broke is by starting to do something, investing in your education, investing in yourself now. That's the difference. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to the replay. Been wanting to do this episode for about a week now and just wanted to make sure that the message came across properly. Because the right people, they hear the message, they get consultations, they move forward with trustee training, they move on with their lives. Some people, they just want to, oh man, I don't have the money. If you don't have the money, when are you ever going to have it? If you don't, what did you do up until this point that says you don't have consultation, don't have trustee capital? Then why do you think you deserve it? Because it sounds good? That stuff sounds good. It sounds like the truth. Because it sounds good, right? Sure. We're not here to save people. You got to save yourself. It's called trustee training. It ain't called a job. We're not offering you a job. We're offering you all the opportunity to put you and your families in a position where you can own nothing, control the assets, and pass it along in the proper position. So you could be an informed family, not an uninformed family. So you don't have to say, well, I got a public school education. Who doesn't? The only people that don't got a public school education is private school people. And we're talking about the ones where their families in trust, so that's how they learned it. They were in a private community of trustees. That's how they learned it. Other than that, everybody else has gone to public school. Stop making that excuse. Well, Trust Christian, I went to public school. Okay, are you going to learn something new? There's no need to even say that. We already know. That's it. We already know. The best thing to do is to invest in your education at this point. Bottom line. And not make an excuse. Oh man, we have people say, older people sometimes say, and this is just no knock to older people, it's just, oh man, I'm not computer literate. Quit! You're not going to make it if you're not computer literate. We're in the goddamn going technology era, but you're not computer literate. Oh man, Trust Christian, I can't believe you said that. Right. This environment's not for you then. People over here are adaptive. We grow. We learn. You have to pick up new skills and talents. You got to get beyond broke. Man, how much I got to learn, Trust Christian? It seems like I'm always learning something new. That's what goes on in the private. We're sorry that you thought that your one degree was going to carry you throughout your life and you're not even working a job in your career field, in your degree field. You know what I mean? People literally, there's statistics that show that the person that has a degree will literally have 5 careers and it won't even be in their degree field. They'll have 5 jobs and won't even work in the career field that they got their degree in. Y'all think this is a game, huh? But how many of you all are still sending your kids to school to get a degree that once again they're going to fall straight into that statistic? This is a joke. You're going to send your kids, hey son, look, if you want to have a better life, go get a degree, son. Hey daughter, you want to get a better life, go get a degree. But guess what? The parents that's telling you that, they're not even in the career field that they got their degree in. It's a joke. But it ain't funny though. You want to know why? Because they got student loans. They got a mortgage. They got a car payment. That's why most kids don't even go into the career field that their parents are in, because they see that they're broke. They're living under debt their whole lives. When you going to get beyond broke? When you going to get beyond student loans? When you going to get beyond car payments for a Honda Civic? When you going to get past, hey, Some people, they need a Mercedes Benz. They think that's balling, right? I got a Benz. How do you own the house that you're in, but it can be repossessed at any time? It can be foreclosed on at any time. See, we're not with the stupid mentality. We're with the truth. The truth is, if you miss a few payments on the house that you say you own, it can be foreclosed on. Guess what? 20 million people in the United States have already been quoted. In 2020, August, they've been quoted that they are in pending default. 20 million. It ain't but 300 million people in the United States. There are children. So we can X out the kids. 20 million people. But how many of you all are positioned to possibly help some of those people stay in the property and reduce their costs, or for you to be in a position where you can acquire assets for pennies on a dollar? Are you in a position to take advantage of that moment? Because it's here. Oh, hey, you went to Cancun last year. You went to Cabo last year. You've been vacationing for the past 2 to 3 years. You haven't been saving because hey, you heard there was going to be a recession. You heard it. You didn't know that recessions happen every 6 to 10 to 12 years. We'll say it again: 6 to 10 to 12 years. You can track that historically. You've lived through a few recessions. But hey, there was a bull market. We just thought it was going to keep going. We didn't really know it was a bull market. And then there's no such thing as a bear. There's no such thing as a down market. Well, what did we just experience in the world? A down market. But it was only for a few months. And guess what? That 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 months just wiped out people's savings from the past recession. We had people at the beginning of this situation literally say that people were they were just getting out of the hole from 2008, 2009 financial crisis. And this is 20. It took them damn near 10 to 12 years to get out of the hole. And guess what? They just got wiped out again. Why are you going to keep playing the beyond broke game? The broke game. Student loans, you went back to school. Hey, the solution is go back to school though right now, right? Who you think's advertising the most right now? Colleges. Go back to school. Get more education. Get more debt. Wow. The system of failure is systemic. Just like it's supposedly systemic racism, there's systemic failure. And that rate is going up exponentially. Well, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do right now. You might want to start thinking for yourself. You might want to cut the TV off and start thinking for yourself. It's not doing the same thing that's got you in the situation that you're in right now. If you want change, you got to change. Bottom line. The truth hurts. But once you get used to it, you'll learn that it's just like lifting weights or working out. You work up to your goals and your dreams. You actually have to work. Nah, man, the government just gave us $10,000 grant money. It ain't even a loan. It's a grant. That means we ain't got to pay it back. Okay. You want the government's money. The place that doesn't make anything. How did they give y'all money? Y'all think they're not going to raise taxes the next party? Even after Trump gets out of office, if he doesn't get the second term, if the Democrats get in office, what do? They raise taxes. Okay, that's how recessions get triggered. Because you thought you were up again during the time where you were able to save and build capital, and now you're back in a position where what? Oh man, somebody's about to raise the taxes again. Wow.
Appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to reach out to the vault, Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Y'all can look for it in the description. Even if you don't have a business, feel free to get one started. Appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to reach out. Talk to you all soon.